back at me. We talked on Friday about the angles in a triangle. The angles in the triangle always do what? They always add up to 180. Okay, the angles in a triangle always add up to 180. There are some other things that we know about triangles because we know that they add up to 180. So some related theorems, which are called corollaries. I'm not too worried about you knowing the word corollary, as long as you can, like when they say, which corollary, blah, 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 you should be able to look here and say, oh, this is a corollary. Okay? Corollary just means it's a statement that comes directly from a theorem. So you had a theorem, the triangle sum theorem says the angles in a triangle add up to 180. Related to that is this. It says the acute angles of a right triangle are complementary. I want you to think about what that means. If you have a right triangle, which means you know you have one 90-degree angle, what does complementary mean? Adds up to 90. So what this corollary is saying is that if you've got a 90-degree angle, the other two angles are complementary, or the other two angles add up to 90. How do you know that? You would know that even if I didn't write you a corollary, but...
Right angle.
Okay, well this is a right angle, so here's 90. How do I know the other two have to add up to 90? Hunter?
The whole thing adds up to 180.
Yeah, the whole thing adds up to 180, right? So if you've got 90 degrees here, then you know you need another 90 degrees between these two angles. Okay, so if you're looking at a right triangle, the two angles that are not the right angles are always going to add up to 90, because 90 plus 90 makes 180. Does that make sense? Probably you didn't even need a corollary to tell you that. So let's try these examples. Let me move this down some. It says find the measure of angle ABC. Let's see, ABC is this angle right down here. Somebody tell me what to do. How would I find the measure of that missing angle? Ben, you know?
Would you put it into like an equation?
You could, yep. So what I would do is I would call that like X. Okay, so I would say this angle is my X. Uh-oh. There we go. This angle is my X. This way I can post it online so that you can go back and rewatch it, or if you're editing or something like that. It doesn't have to be recording, but... Okay, so now that I've got that, what do I know about these three angles? Luke?
Well, they all have to add up to 180.
Yeah, they have to add up to 180. So if I was going to write this out formally, now there are many ways you could do this and not be quite so formal, but I could say 49 plus 84, you should be writing this down, plus X equals, slide over a little bit, 180. Okay? So from there, I would say to myself, well, what does 49 plus 84 equal? I think it's 133, but I want you to check it. Yeah, I'm right? What would I do from here?
You would minus 133.
Good. Subtract 133. And I end up with X equals 47 degrees. Okay? Now, are there some of you that would have just said, well, I'm just going to start with 180 and subtract the two angles that were there and see what's left? That's fine with me too. Really, you're doing this process, right? You're taking the two angles and subtracting from the 180. That would be fine. But I don't care whether you write it out formally or not. The process is the same. Question, Karen? You good? Question? Okay, Hunter?
Is it recording your voice too?
It is, yeah. That's why you hear it talking back at you.
We get.
That's right.
My mom will hear it.
Okay. All right. Next, it wants me to find angle CAD. Oh, this one's a little bit trickier. A couple different ways we could go about this one. I want to see what you come up with. CAD is this angle right up here. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on finding that one, Darian?
46 plus 49.
Where's the 49 coming from?
The angle in.
Okay, is this angle, though, part of that triangle? No. Any thoughts? I see about 3 different ways we could go about this.
Well, is it?
No? Any thoughts on how I could get this angle down here?
Add them together.
Add what together?
The number.
46
And then
and
divide by 180.
Nice try.
46 and
Okay.
84.
No.
49
Nicole?
and 46.
Where is it? The 84.
It wouldn't be 84 also, but it has something to do with the 84.
84 divided by 180.
Closer. Okay,
80,
this is a straight line, right?
180, yo, you divide by what?
Okay, if it's a straight line, how many degrees total?
180.
180. And I know this is 84, so how do I figure what's left over here?
Divide.
No,
Multiply.
subtract.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I have 180 degrees total. From here to here is 180 degrees. I have 84 degrees right here. So I can subtract. I'm going to do 180 minus 84. That's going to give me, I believe, 96. So that means this angle is 96 degrees.
So now.
Now what can I do?
46.
Okay, 46 plus 96, and then do what with it? Okay. I'm going to write that up here. This is going to get really messy, but 46 plus 96 plus x equals 180. So again, we're calling this angle up here x. Okay. What next? Jared, what do you think? Okay, add the 46 and the 96 together, which makes 142. So 142 plus x equals 180. What's the last thing I want to do? Ryan, what do you think? What's the last thing I should do here?
You take away 180 from 142.
Yep, I'll take away the 142 minus the, or 180 minus 142. 38, thank you. Okay, go back to this. 38 degrees. Good with those? Sometimes they take a little bit of problem solving. The other thing I was going to mention, maybe this will make more sense to you, is this is one big triangle, right? From D to A to B, one big triangle. So this angle, and this whole angle would have to add up to what? No, in a triangle, always 180. Yeah. So I could have done 46 plus, let's see, what did we find for this angle? 47. We found 47 a second ago. 46 plus 47, and then plus 49, because that's part of this angle, and subtracted all of that from 180. Still should have come out to be 38. If that way was more confusing for you, stick with the first way we did it. Okay? Okay. 3 and 4. This is the value of x. What are we going to do? This is just like your warm-up. Darian, go ahead.
Make out the big equation.
Okay, and what's the big equation going to come from? What does it look like?
7x minus 13
Okay.
plus 2x plus 2
Okay.
plus 4x plus 9.
What does that have to equal?
Equals 9.
Yep. We know there's 180 degrees in a triangle. Now I've got this massive equation.
Add the x's.
Okay, let's combine all the x's. I'm going to try to cram it all in one screen there. So I have 7x, 2x, and 4x. And I'm going to combine those. So that would be 13x. Stop me if I make a mistake. And then I've got negative 13, positive 2, and positive 9. What do those add together to? Negative 13 plus positive 2 plus positive 9. Nope, negative 13. Ian? That's right, negative 2. Good. So minus 2 equals 180. All right, now that I've got this little equation, what's the next thing I'm going to do? Hunter, what do you want to do next? Any thoughts? I'm trying to get x by itself.
Minus 13 for both sides.
Close. Let's not get rid of the 13. Let's get rid of the 2.
Minus 2 for both sides.
Except it's already a minus. Plus. Yeah, let's add the 2 to both sides. Good.
I'm not supposed to say I'm saying anything stupid. It's recording.
Jemijah. 13x equals 182. Told you guys I like your mistakes. Divide by the 13, and I don't know what that is.
Oh, man,
182 divided by 13. What is it? 14? Thank you. This is math class, right? You're all in the right spot? Okay. I would just assume when you walk in the door that you're going to need a calculator. Okay, so every day when you come in, grab a calculator on your way in. Okay? I'm not going to stop right now so everybody can get one, but start assuming at the beginning of the day that you're going to need a calculator. Just grab one on your way in. Okay, so we don't have to stop when we hit a point where we need a calculator, and so you don't have to sit there and stare at me with glazed over eyes while I'm saying, what's 182 divided by 13? Well, I don't know. Okay? Okay. Let's go back. What's that? Oh, that is talking back to me. Okay, so now we know the value of x was 14. That's what we just found. Then it says, what is the measure of each angle? What do I do from here? If I know x was 14, what do I do with the 14 now? I thought x was 14. I think we divided by 13. Yep, x was 14.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were.
So now that I know that x is 14, how do I go back and find like the measure of this angle, for example?
You plug it back in.
Plug it back in, yeah. So I'm going to do, start this over here, 4 times 14 plus 9. It's going to be 56 plus 9, which is 65 degrees. So there's 1. Let's do the 2x plus 2. So I would do 2 times 14 plus 2, which is going to be 30. And then my last one, the 7x minus 13. So 7 times 14 minus 13. That's going to be 98.85. Would be a really easy way to check my answer right now.
Just add them up and see if they get.
Yeah, these 3 angles, the 65, the 30, and the 85, if I add them back together, should equal 180. Okay? Good with that? Okay. All right, 5, 6, and 7, they're trying to get you to use that corollary. Again, if you don't want to use the corollary, if you just want to use the 180 every time, that's fine, but it's trying to give you a shortcut. If we know this is 90, then we know these 2 angles have to add up to 90. So if I know one of these angles, how can I find this other one? Easily. One step. Nicole.
You subtract 90 and 41.
That's right, yeah. So I would take that 90. It's going to come out to be 49.
It's the only thing he's mentioning.
Oh, he's getting this, right? Okay.
That's why when you call them, you get a stupid answer.
He didn't have a stupid answer.
That's what I said.
He didn't have a stupid answer at all.
Stupid.
All right, number 6. What do I do for number 6?
The same thing.
What do you mean by that? What do I do?
50.2 divided minus,
90
I mean
minus-
minus
There you
90.
go. 90 minus 50.2. $39.8.
Yes. Obviously, yes.
Oh, Jemijah. You're such a good boost for the confidence.
39.8.
Okay. What about this next one?
I see.
You're gonna do
90 minus x.
That's really it. That's all you have to do is 90 minus x. Yeah, we don't know what x is, so we just say it would be 90 minus whatever x is.
Oh, I was right.
Nicely done. Questions on any of that stuff? Will, is that a hand up over there?
Here, that wasn't even
No?
a stupid
Okay.
question or answer.
It wasn't. Mistakes. Your mistakes help me teach because then I can show you. Did you miss something? Sorry. I don't know if I keep hitting that or what. 1, 2, and 3 are interior angles. Angle 4 would be an exterior angle. What does the word remote mean?
Remote control.
Okay, you're right, it's used in remote control, but what does the remote part mean? Why do they call it a remote control?
Takes it over.
Not quite.
TV.
Have you ever heard of like a remote location?
yeah.
A remote desert island?
Like it's,
Or grab the remote from me.
Okay. What does remote mean? Did I hear something over there? Isolated. It's kind of like isolated. It's like far away or separated from. Okay? That's what remote means. That's why they call it a remote control, is because you can control the TV from far away from the TV. Okay, which doesn't seem that revolutionary to you, but
Far to reach.
you know, probably was at one time. Okay, to be able to control the TV without walking up to the TV. So remote interior angles mean the interior angles that are far away from the exterior angle. So you see this angle 4? Angle 3 is right next to it, so we wouldn't call that remote. But 1 and 2 are both separated from the 4. They're not right next to the 4. So we call those the remote interior angles. Okay? And there's a trick. If you want to find the measure of this angle 4, you can take these two remote angles, not the one that's touching 4, but the other two, and just add them together. And these two added together are always going to equal this one on the outside. Pretty cool?
Yeah.
Now, again, you could do this by just using the fact that there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So you could add up the 3 angles, subtract from 180, and then figure out what this minus 180 was. But that's a lot of steps. Okay? The exterior angle theorem, that's what this is saying right here. In fact, you might want to highlight this or something, or circle it, or something on your paper. That the measure of that exterior angle is equal to the 2 remote interiors added together. Okay, and we're going to use that right now so that you understand what it means. In fact, let's do some examples of that, and then we'll come back to this other theorem, because the other theorem, again, is kind of common sense. So let's look at 8 and 9. They give you the exterior angle in number 8. This one, actually, we're going to have to work a little bit backwards. I wish they would have made this one a little more straightforward. It wants me to find this angle measure and this angle measure. Okay? Let's find this angle measure first. What do I know about this angle and this angle together? Not equal 90. They would have to equal, think about that theorem we just learned.
I was.
Okay. That theorem we just learned said that these two angles have to add up to equal what? 111. Yeah. We just learned that these two angles have to add up to equal 111. Okay? So if I wanted to call this angle, let's pick a different color. If I wanted to call this angle x, I would know that 60 plus x would have to equal 111. Okay? Because that's the theorem we just learned, is that the two remote interior angles add up to the angle on the outside. Now, how do I find x? Rebecca?
You take 111. You take 60 away from 111.
Perfect. You subtract the 60 from the 111. Okay, so x equals 51. Okay. So angle G is 51 degrees.
That's it? That's all you do?
Excuse me. Now, before we do example 9, I want to throw another. Okay, number 9. I'm going to have to write an equation for this one. Number 9, yep, go back here. Here's your exterior angle. Sorry, I'll wait until you're looking at it with me. Forgot you had to flip pages.
I want it these.
It wouldn't be equal to 68, not by itself. This is my exterior angle. Which two are my remote interiors? Just name it by the... Okay, so the 3x, letter C, and D. Yep, so these two are remote interiors to that angle. And so that means these two have to do what to make this angle?
Go 3x plus 4x plus 5.
And what's that going to equal?
That equals 180.
Nope,
Or 90.
nope. We are adding these together, but these two have to equal the exterior angle, which is the 68. Good. Yep. So we are going to write down,
After the third try.
you know, sometimes it takes more than once. So 3x plus 4x plus 5
7x.
equals 68. I would write it all out first. Make sure you're writing this down. Okay, so 3x plus 4x plus 5 equals 68, which is 7x.
That's 63. 7x
Yeah.
equals 63.
How'd you get the 63?
I did, well, it's a plus 5 right now, so you
Yep.
have minus 5.
Good.
And then you gotta take 5 away from 68.
Good.
And then it's 9.
So 7x equals 63.
X equals 9.
And then what do I do with it from here?
180, 7, 9.
No 180. I'm just solving an equation. Yep.
Divided by 60.
Or 63 divided by 7. X equals 9. Now, did the question say what does x equal? What does the question want? Wants what angle D equals. Now, here's angle D. How do I get this now that I know what x is?
Plug it back in.
Okay. So I'm going to do 4
36.
times 9 plus 5, which is 41 degrees.
41 degrees.
Good.
Yeah. Darian.
Well done.
Dude, I'm gonna lick your ear until you stop.
Jamija.
Well,
Bad
he
idea.
keeps pushing my desk, looking at my ear.
Ben, slide your desk forward a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay. Okay. The third angles theorem. This is very common sensey. Okay? I don't know if that's really a word, but the third angle theorem says if you have two angles in one triangle that match two angles in another triangle, then what do you know about the third angles? So if I know this angle, angle 2 and angle 5 are equal, and I know 3 and 6 are equal, what do you know about 1 and 4? They're equal. Yeah. The third angles theorem says that if these two angles are equal to these two angles, then the third angles have to be equal to each other as well. Because if they all have to add up to 180, you only have one number left that it could possibly be in both triangles. So let's try that for 10 and 11. I don't.
Well, wouldn't you do 6x plus 10 plus 7x minus 4?
Not plus. If I know these angles are equal to these angles. Let me do that again. Make sure you're watching. If I know these angles are equal to these angles, then what do I know about this angle and this angle? They have to be the same, right? They have to be exactly equal to each other. So I'm going to write an equation, but I'm not going to add them equal to 180 or anything crazy like that. I'm going to say that they have to be equal to each other. Okay, so my equation is going to say 6x plus 10 equals 7x minus 2. I know that those two angles have to equal each other. Yep. Actually, I'm going to move this down here and restart it so you can see. So 6x plus 10 equals 7x minus 2. Let's subtract the 6x from each side. Make sure you're writing down all of this equation solving stuff too, because some of us are not great equation solvers. So this 7x minus 6x would be 1x minus 2. Where would I go from here?
Take plus 2.
Plus 2, yeah. So what's x equal?
12.
Yep. X equals 12.
So do we have to do that? Oh.
And then it says, I now want to know, whoops, I want to move that, I want to move
Plug
this.
it back in.
Yeah, I want to know what does angle M and angle Q equal. Now, do I have to do two problems there?
No.
No, because they should equal exactly the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't hurt to put it in both and make sure that it works out to be equal.
Yeah. It would.
But, so I would do 6 times 12 plus 10 is 82. Oh, just for the heck of it, let's check the other one. 7 times 12 minus 2, that's 84 minus 2, which is 82. They both come out to be 82? I love it.
She loves math.
Okay?
She would die for math.
I wouldn't say that.
She loves for us
She's making a big
having
one.
to show our work.
Thanks, it's just a single bin.
Okay, number 11. What do we know about angle T and angle R?
Angle T and angle R, they are equal.
They have to be equal to each other, right? Okay, they would have to be.
Well,
So my equation is going to say, go ahead, write me your equation.
2x plus 11.
Thank you so much.
2x plus 11 equals 3x.
That's right. 2x plus 11 equals 3x, because I know they have to be equal to each other.
And then it would equal 1x.
Yeah, this is actually going to be really easy.
Yeah.
Subtract the 2x,
Equal 11.
so 11
11x.
equals 1x. So x is 11. Now I want to find angle T and angle R.
Plug them back in.
Okay. So angle T would be 3 times 11,
They both should be 33.
which is 33. Angle R would be 2 times 11 plus 11, which is also 33. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I messed it up. Always a catch. In fact, why don't you copy this one down? If you flip the back side of the other page in this notes packet is blank. Like where there were the 4 slides, the back of that page is blank. Why don't you copy this down there?
Where?
Okay, on that blank part.
Draw what you're doing.
Yep. That's 48 degrees and 31 degrees. And I want to know the measure of this.
Plus 0.
Nope, that's his x degrees. Sorry. I'll try it again.
I was like,
That angle we're going to call x. Okay? What do I do to find that angle? Rebecca? Yeah, those are the remote interior angles because they're far away from that one, right? So I add these two together. 31 plus 48, and you're right, it is 79. Now again, this comes from the interior angle theorem that said that all of your angles have to add up to 180. Because what I could have done in this problem is if I hadn't known that, if I didn't remember that exterior angle theorem, I could figure out what this angle is by adding these and subtracting from 180, right? Because those 3 would have to make 180. And then I could take this angle by itself and subtract from 180 again because this is a straight line. Okay, so I could have done that. This is a shortcut. This is meant to be a shortcut for you. Okay, I see a hand up over here. Question? No? You guys saw you waving your paper. Okay, let me throw one more at you. Actually, let me fix this a little bit. That's 122, and I'm going to give you that this one is
50.
guys are messing with my train of thought. 32 degrees. And I want to know the measure of this angle.
72.
Okay? What do I do? Add what together?
The 122 and the 32.
Nope. Because the 122 is the one on the outside, so that's what it's going to equal.
32 minus 72.
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of things thrown out there, and all of them sound correct or close to correct. Really what I know here is that 32 plus x would have to equal 122, right?
Yep.
So then I could subtract the 32. And again, if you didn't want to write it out as an equation, if you just wanted to jump right in and do 122 minus 32, that's fine. What I would recommend if this were a test or a quiz is that you at least write down that you did 122 minus 32. Do you find 90 is your answer?
Yes.
That's what I was going
Yes.
for.
Yes.
Okay.
I found 90.
So that's actually a right angle.
I'm 91.
Now that I know that that one's a right angle, what do I know about this angle and this angle?
Whoa.
That's a right.
Not that they're right angles.
90 plus 32. Divided 180 minus 32 and 90.
Okay, yeah, I could do that. I could do 180 minus the 90 and minus the 32. Or we learned that shortcut with right triangles, right? I could just do 90 minus 32. Okay, so if I wanted to find this angle now, I'll call that y. I could do 90 minus 32. I believe I get 58.
Yes.
Yep, so this angle here would be 58 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm combining a lot of stuff on you. Questions on that at all?